Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a really powerful, personal story about someone who faced a truly devastating illness. And the path they found to recovery? Well, it wasn't in medicine. It was somewhere deep inside their own mind.
So the story kicks off with this startling statement. I mean, how could anyone possibly say something like that? To even begin to understand it, we really have to explore the incredible suffering that led to this kind of profound realization.
The narrator's body was pushed to the absolute brink. But what's so crucial to get here is that this crisis wasn't just from a single illness. No, it was a battle fought on two fronts, against the disease itself and against the very treatments that were supposed to save him.
Yeah, this was not some sudden thing. This was a decade-long war. After surviving cancer not once but twice through radiation therapy, the narrator suddenly found himself in a brand new and, you could argue, an even worse fight against the devastating aftereffects of that treatment.
Think about this. The very treatment that saved his life was now, piece by piece, destroying his body from the inside out. That radiation had turned healthy living tissue into scar tissue, which caused this constant, uncontrollable bleeding and just extreme pain. Doctors basically told him he might have to live with this for the rest of his life. So faced with this intense, just unending physical suffering, something really crucial started to shift in his mind. He began to see his body not as his true self, but more like a temporary vessel. This idea that he was more than his pain, it became the absolute bedrock for everything that was about to happen.
Okay, so his body is failing, but this new perspective is starting to take root. So naturally, he sought out every single medical solution he could find. But it became pretty clear pretty fast that medicine just had no answer for him.
For more than a year, he tried it all. Multiple surgeons using all the tools of Western medicine, they couldn't stop the bleeding. So he turned to the East. A very skilled Chinese herbalist used traditional remedies, and he tried his absolute best, but in the end, he couldn't heal him either. Both paths led to a complete dead end. So here he is, at this moment of just absolute hopelessness. And his friend, the herbalist, offers this piece of advice. He's basically suggesting that if the physical body can't be healed from the outside, then maybe, just maybe, the answer lies somewhere else entirely, in the spiritual realm.
Now, this advice, it didn't lead to some immediate, magical solution. Oh no. Instead, it triggered this deep internal conflict and really forced the narrator to confront his own spiritual beliefs in a profound and, frankly, a really challenging new way.
You see, as a longtime Buddhist practitioner, this advice created a real struggle for him. He'd always understood karma as its basic law of cause and effect, that your suffering is, in a way, a product of your own past actions. So from that point of view, was it even right to ask for some kind of divine intervention to escape it?
This is the core principle he was really wrestling with. He saw his illness not as some kind of punishment, but as a genuine opportunity, a chance to practice patience and to loosen his attachment to his physical body. He really felt that simply enduring the pain was the spiritual practice itself.
But then he realized something huge. You shouldn't be too attached to your own views either. And that opened the door to what he calls true repentance. And this wasn't about guilt. It was a whole process. He went from just observing his mind to actively loosening his attachment to his physical self. From there, he accepted full responsibility for whatever past causes led him here. And finally, in a moment of just complete surrender, he asked for help. Not for his own selfish sake, but only if he could still be of use in the world, and he was fully ready to accept whatever the outcome might be.
So, weeks go by after this huge internal shift. His physical condition hasn't changed at all. And then, something extraordinary and completely unexpected happened. During his morning meditation, he suddenly became aware of this golden ball of light just completely surrounding him. He describes it as the most pure, compassionate, and nurturing light he had ever experienced. And this wasn't just some personal vision he was having. He perceived it as a cosmic energy, the actual source of all life, just pervading everything, everywhere. It was a direct experience of something inexhaustible and just profoundly life-affirming. He knew, right there in that moment, that his body was going to begin to heal. And the effect, it was almost instantaneous. Within 30 minutes, the severe pain that he had lived with for over a year just vanished, gone. And the transformation was just unbelievably rapid. Within just 3 days of that experience, the constant, uncontrollable internal bleeding that no doctor, no medicine could fix,
It had stopped completely. So, you see, the crucial point of this entire story isn't just the miraculous physical healing, as amazing as that is. It's the profound philosophical lesson that this whole experience confirmed for him in a deeply, deeply personal way.
For the narrator, this experience was like getting a direct glimpse into the path toward what Buddhists call Anuttara Samyak Samboli. I know, it's a complex term, but it basically means the Great Enlightenment, the ultimate state of complete wisdom and awakening.
His experience made this very abstract teaching from a sacred text, the Vajrasutra, a lived reality. The whole idea of no self, that our individual identity is kind of an illusion, that was no longer just a concept to be studied in a book. It was something he had directly and powerfully experienced.
So, in the end, this incredible story really challenges our conventional understanding of healing, doesn't it? It leaves us with a pretty profound question to think about. What is the true link between our inner world of thought and intention and the physical reality of our bodies? How powerful is the human mind, really?